Hello and welcome. My name is Ozioma Igwanwu, the founder of World Dream Day, and today I am joined by Yes Mel, DJ and sensory alchemist, who is our World Dream Day Dream DJ for 2022. And her and I are going to be talking and connecting and exploring not only her journey, but also how she is able to really connect to the heart and the essence of her own ideas, her own dreams, her own visions, and be able to create from that space. And so thank you so much. Yes, Mel, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to be the World Dream Day DJ.
Oh, doesn't it sound so great?
I know when you said it, I'm like, okay.
Exactly. Fabulous. So to get us started, for those who may not be acquainted with you, your work, your journey, tell us a little bit about who you are, as well as just like some key highlights in terms of what we might call the dreamer's journey.
Yeah, well, my kind of my first introduction into like music really in a professional sense came from creating playlists for my classes. And I used to teach a lot of dance and movement based practices. Right at the beginning of my career, I was doing like dance aerobics and kind of step classes. So my first kind of professional take on music was creating playlists for this. And then I became a yoga teacher, so again creating playlists for my classes. And it's been always been a very important part of my process. An important part of my practice is having the right kind of music at the right time. And I kind of became a DJ quite by accident, actually. I never intended to be behind the decks because I always saw myself out there on the dance floor. And so I never really saw myself as a DJ. And it kind of, happened very by accident. I was creating some playlists for a friend's party while I was off sick from work. I had a knee injury, so it meant I couldn't teach for a while. And so I'd created a playlist for a friend of mine for a 30th birthday. And at the party, another mutual friend was like, this playlist is great. Who created the playlist? And I was like, me. And he said, are you a DJ? And I was like, yes. And he's like, oh, you come and DJ for me at my party. And I said, oh, no, I'm joking. I'm not a DJ. And he's like, yes, you are. So I got my first DJ gig. Because I was off sick, I had time to learn the art to a certain extent. So I bought myself this software and a little controller, and had a month to just go in, just to fully focus on learning the software. And this was like, I guess maybe about 7-8 years ago now. And it's been a process. It's been a learning process over the years to develop my own style. But yes, it came about kind of a little bit by accident in a way. Although it's something that I've always enjoyed, I've been in my life. So that's kind of a little bit about how I became a DJ and my love of music. And I guess also why it's always about a journey for me, because I guess in my classes there's a build up and there's a process within the classes as well. So it's kind of become a natural part of my DJing process is to go on a little bit of a journey. And so, this is reflected in the playlist that I've created today for the World Dream Day. But also on the dance floor, I like to build people up and I like to bring them down and leave people in a place of kind of wanting more, but also in feeling like complete as well at the same time, but always like, ooh, looking forward to the next set, but like a completion to it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. What I find remarkable about what you expressed is that, we say, okay, it kind of happened, by accident or by random, but it took someone being able to see your gift and speak into that gift. And so for those who are listening right now, I would love to hear from you. How did it feel for someone to recognize your gift and for you to lean into it? Because so often we're so afraid to lean into our gifts. So it'd just be great to hear from you what it felt like. And then as a result of answering that call, how you feel you blossomed by leaning into your gifts.
I love that. Quite often what comes from difficult times, I'm a firm believer that good things can happen through difficult times. And at the time, for me to have an injury, like a knee injury, which can kind of prevent you from doing lots of activities that I enjoy, and very much part of my life. So from an outsider, it was like, could have been like the worst thing ever. Like, how are you going to cope not being able to be mobile? But even before I decided to to learn to DJ, I'd already mentally prepared myself for doing something. I didn't know what, but I was open to being creative or doing something different. So I was kind of already open to something coming, but I didn't know what. But I was into drawing mandalas at the time, so I thought maybe that might become a thing, and I might draw big ones and become more creative through that. So I had a few little ideas, but I kind of was in a space of being open anyway, I think. So that in itself I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, why not? Bring it on. I want to be, I like to be challenged, and I like to be creative. So it didn't feel totally ridiculous. And I think that's quite important, I guess, when you're thinking of your dreams and you're manifesting things, is how ridiculous is it? And I'm a firm believer of living in alignment with your dreams and your manifestations. So it didn't seem totally ridiculous. If it had been something that I had no connection to, if it was something that was like, do what? Like, this is something that I'm not even ever thought of doing, but because I guess it's already something that was part of who I am to a certain extent. It didn't seem unattainable, and it didn't seem ridiculous either.
Mm.
So I guess as a combination of the two, I was open for something to come into my life, but it didn't seem ridiculous and totally far-fetched at the time. So I guess that is how I could lean into it.
I love that. And so this idea of being open and available, right? And from that space of being open and available, so much is able to come through, and we're
Mm.
able to say yes and lean into and then take that journey. And so speaking
Mhm.
of journeys, because you've prepared this amazing playlist that I have been jamming to and flowing to over and over and over since you shared it, I'm like, wow, this is so good. And I can't wait for the world to listen to this. Tell us a little bit about what went into it, and what was your intention, and just what you hope people will be able to receive as a result of experiencing this sound journey, since you are the sensory alchemist.
Yes, well, I wanted to bring a little bit of like my love of music that is kind of quite ambient and relaxed, and it can put you into it could be more kind of connected to an embodiment practice like yoga or something like that, or something a little bit more mindful. So I had that in mind. But I also wanted it to be something that reflected my love of electronic and dance music. So my intention was something that kind of, you were waking up from a dream, or just awakening from a dream, and then the music would enable you to embody that dream. And so the music that I chose, a lot of it was purposefully chose music that didn't have a lot of lyrics in it, because they can be so weighted, and everyone's dreams are so different. So I didn't want to attach too much into the actual words behind in the music. So there was a few songs in there with words behind, which I just love them, so I had to put them in there. And I think they'd resonate with a lot of people. But you've got to be careful with words, I find, in music. And also a lot of music I listen to anyway is not English speaking, so I always don't know the true meaning actually behind a lot of the music that I play, unless I research every track. I have an idea, but I don't know fully always what they're singing about, which I quite like. It's just I go with a feeling a lot of the time. So yeah, I purposely chose music without too many lyrics in there, with the idea that each track in itself has a feeling of expansion, taking you somewhere else, you know, taking you a little bit out of your head, taking you a bit further into your dreams, wherever they may be, you know. So I wanted a sense of like, you could listen to each track on their own and have that feeling. If you've only got 5 minutes on World Dream Day to listen to a track, then you can choose one. Hopefully you get to listen to the full playlist. But yeah, so that was kind of the idea behind the tracks.
Wonderful. And so you spoke about the notion that the playlist enables us to kind of go into our dreams, right? Awaken from a dream, but also connect deeper
Mhm.
into our dreams and our visions and our ideas. And so what is your dream? I would love to know first, what is your dream
Mm.
personally? And then also, what is your dream for our world?
I love travel, and I like to travel with purpose. Um, I like the idea of giving back. I know with, you know, the way the world is, and we're all thinking of how we can live sustainable. I always feel a little bit guilty by saying that, you know, how much I love to travel, but I truly wish that I want to travel with intention and purpose, and to give back. So it is my dream to continue to do that, but comfortably, and be able to share my work with people all over the world,
Mm,
um, and to continue to do that. But my dream as a for the world is for people to have choice. To be able to have a dream, you need to have choice, and to manifest things, you need choice. I feel very privileged. I live in the UK, and we have a lot of choices here. Um, so I feel like I've been able to fulfill a lot of my dreams because of that. Um, so I wish that on a global front, especially for women of color, um, is a dream of mine. Um, yeah.
mm. Wow, I really, really felt that the excitement for your personal dream and being able to travel all over the world and share your work, but also for that collective dream, the dream of choice, that we have the freedom, the power, the access to be able to live out our dreams, to activate our dreams, to manifest our dreams. And so that also speaks into the reason why World Dream Day itself was created. It was created to hold space for that, to hold space for the cultivation and the co-creation of a world where we all can manifest and activate, and not just activate on an individual level, but also activate collectively so that the
Mhm.
world can become a better, more beautiful, brighter, more peaceful place. And so I thank you for your contribution
Thank you.
in just offering what your gifts are in this way. And I look forward to people being able to, discover and connect to your work, discover and connect to the playlist. And so is there anything as we close this conversation that you want to share? I would also love for you to share how people can get in touch with you and just moving forward, what else you're up to.
Yes, people can follow me on Instagram. I have a couple of Instagrams. I've got my DJ Instagram, which is Yes Mel, which is my DJ name. And I've also got another Instagram called The Sensory Alchemists. I'm going to be going to Berlin next week, actually, on the part of my dream is happening, to share my work that I do around grief rituals. So I did this rituals workshop at Boom Festival. And so I'm going to be sharing similar kind of workshop, not this weekend, but the weekend after in Berlin. So I'll be putting some details up on my Instagram around that if anyone's in the area. And I'm kind of just working now towards developing my creative practice as a sensory alchemist. So I'm going to be learning to become to produce music. So this is something that I'm going to be starting next month, is doing a music production course. So I'm very lucky, I feel very fortunate to do that. But I'm also lucky that I work with lots of different kinds of people. I work with an organisation here in Brighton that we developed something called the Rest Experience, which is sharing workshops around different sensory workshops, but promoting rest. So we'll be doing something else. Again, you'll be able to find this on my Instagram with a run up to Christmas, about how we can bring in a bit more rest around busy times in our lives. So yeah, so check that out as well. I'm kind of like I'm a believer in all of the things of having access and enjoying all of the things, enjoying movement, enjoying dance, enjoying rest, and acknowledging all the emotions, joy, grief, pleasure, acknowledging all those things exist and coexist at the same time. So a lot of my work is around that. How can these coexist at the same time, and where can we find our joy and peace and rest when we're going through all these things simultaneously? So that's what a lot of my work is about. So yeah, please do follow me. And I have a website, which is yesmail.com. If you want to work with me, I'm always up for collaborating as well. So yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for just your time, your contribution, and for saying yes to being our World Dream Day Dream DJ for 2022.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.